Hey guys, what is up? It is No Help and welcome back to another video today. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Perilous Moons, a brand new quest that they want to add to the game. Beneath the steep and jagged cliffs of Ralos rise sits the dwarven town of Camtorn. Its strong fortifications have kept it safe through all of Valimor's history, but now inhabitants face a new challenge. Lurking below the surface is an ancient temple built to contain powerful entities. Now the earth has been disturbed and the dwarves need your help to keep these strange beings contained. If you've already read the Valimor news post, you already know that this new dungeon is accessed via Perilous Moons, an experience level quest that will see you delving into the depths of Camtorn and getting your first glimpse at the mysteries within. The quest will reveal a new chunk of PvM content aimed at mid-level players. That's great. The dungeon holds 3 deadly demi-bosses. Defeat them and re-emerge with some exciting new loot. If you can't tell, this encounter is heavily inspired by the iconic Barrows Brothers, a mid-level combat staple. Unlike Barrows, however, this activity focuses on discovering and exploration. We want you to feel like you're progressing through the dungeon in a meaningful way, learning more about Valimor's ancient history as you go. We're taking all the best bits of Barrows and the Forthos dungeon to create a new, well-rounded adventuring experience. We recommend tackling the dungeon with a combat level of 65 or more. Down in the depths, defense is key, so you'll want to prepare carefully before heading in. Now that you know what you're in for, let's take a closer look. Okay, so this is down in the dungeon. So every trip in the temple begins in the central room, which expands outwards along 4 ominously long corridors. Each of these leads to a different area of the dungeon with different elements and opportunities to explore. However, only one corridor will be open to you each time you enter, meaning that every encounter begins slightly different to the ones before it. I guess that's kind of like Barrows in a way, right? Once you've explored your starting corridor, you're free to move around and tackle the bosses in any way you like, although taking on the one closest to your starting location will obviously save you quite a bit of time. Wonder how big this is going to be. Each room in the temple contains enemies to fight, shortcuts to cross, and opportunities to flex your skilling muscles. Like that as well. Although the temple has seemingly been abandoned for many centuries, you'll have the opportunity to acquire food and prayer restoration items that will help you achieve your goal. So I guess they're taking a little bit of inspiration from raids and stuff like that as well. Please note that nothing you acquire inside can leave the temple again. Okay, so no profit to be made. They're just there to help you restock between fights. Of course, you're also free to bring your own supplies, although you'll find that making use of the dungeon's resources is faster than trekking to the nearest bank. Wow, I guess this is going to be far from a bank. Resources aren't the only thing you'll find in the temple's depths. You'll also encounter some nasty foes to fight. They'll drop useful stuff like bones and herbs, and of course you'll also receive XP for defeating them. Base camps around the dungeon will let you store and retrieve tools for hunter, fishing, and other gathering skills, so you'll always have the ability to gather those precious resources when you need them. That's awesome. Okay, so this is the demi bosses, and they're all in gray or black right now anyways, and let's take a quick look at all of these. So just like Barrows, the temple is home to several different bosses. The more you defeat, the better loot you'll get. It doesn't matter which demi boss you tackle first, as your chance of loot is only affected by how many of them you defeat. So it's exactly like Barrows, right? A combined of effort. Unlike Barrows Brothers, these demi-bosses can be fought by multiple players at the same time. Without dropping any spoilers, these powerful entities cannot be killed. Okay, your job is to distract them to ensure they remain contained within the temple. So I guess you have to keep them inside the temple. That's an interesting way to do it, I guess. To this end, we're doing things a little differently. Instead of having one big health bar that you and your companions are working to deplete, every player involved will have their own individual health bar. This means that other players participating or lack therefore won't affect your reward potential. Go solo or bring your friends. Either way, you'll get your reward. So if this is saying 65 combat, I'm pretty sure a max player could easily probably solo this, right? However, this also means that the bosses will attack you all as a collective, using the environment around them to damage players in mass. You'll need to stay alert to avoid taking damage. Each of the bosses also provides an opportunity to learn and practice key mechanics you'll need to master to face more challenging foes later in your adventuring career. Of course, it's a great way for new players to familiarize themselves with some of the tougher elements of PvM. Obviously, we plan to include never before seen mechanics to keep you on your toes, but discussing them here would spoil the surprise. Defense is the best offense. As we mentioned above, defense is a keystone of this content. Most gear, especially in the late game, focuses on offensive bonuses, with the notable exception of Justice Scar. Mid-game gear, however, tends towards more defensive bonus, and that's what we want to encourage here. The bosses share a mechanic which highlights the importance of defense, and each individual boss also has their own way of lowering your DPS when you take damage. Each boss's basic attack will hit 3 times, and each hit is harder than the last. However, should any one of those attacks miss, the others will miss as well. This means that to preserve your DPS, you'll need to have strong defense. That's actually pretty cool. Below, we've got some very rough examples of how this might shake out with different gear. We want to stress that these numbers are not final and are simply here to illustrate how important defense will be. So this is their defense breakdown. So a fighter torso, right, it's low defense. So the first attack chance is 60%. This will do 10 damage. And then the second attack, 36% chance, will do 20 damage. Third attack, 21%, and it will do 40 damage. So that's actually massive. If we look at something like Bandos, which has a medium defense, 50%, 25, so it's dropping significantly. And then we look at the Barrow's armor, it'd be even less, 40, 16, and only a 6% chance here. So will something like Justice Scar or whatever, Torva, something like that, be probably a lot lower, right? Alright, so here is the reward. So there is 3 sets. So there is the Blood Rager set, the Frost Moon set, and the Eclipse set. Before we get our greedy little hands on rewards, we want to stress that we're trying something new and experimental here. Those dinosaurs who played before Barrows launched will remember that before the Barrows entered the scene, weapons only ever did damage. Their unique weapons were the first to include their own special mechanics. This shook up the combat scene for decades. 2 of them to come, and we want to do something similar with these rewards. Accordingly, the armor sets we're about to present break the mold significantly. We're really keen to hear your thoughts on this, so read carefully and let us know what you think on all the usual channels. Please note all of these sets only trigger their set effects and weapons special attack when wearing the complete set. Okay, so it's exactly like Barrow's sets, I guess. Okay, so we're going to start this off with the Blood Rager set. So drawing power from the angriest phase of the moon, the Blood Rager set evokes memories of ancient bloodthirst in the wearer, causing them to rip and tear through low defense targets in a devastatingly ferocious assault. The dual Makwawheat, I don't know how to pronounce that, has a speedy attack rate of 4 ticks, and get this, they hit twice. They also come with a special attack allowing you to sacrifice 10% of your current hit points to raise your maximum and minimum hit by 25% for that attack. At just 25% energy cost, this might seem like a no-brainer, but watch out, use it too many times in a row and you'll find yourself with low HP. Wearing the full set will also earn you a nifty set effect, a 33% chance for the dual weapon as second attack to hit 1 tick sooner. Using the special attack with the full set equipped makes that a guarantee, enabling you to slice and dice with unparalleled speed. For lower defense foes, this set is a game changer, although they become less effective against higher defense enemies. I'm assuming this kind of seems like a PvP set. And here is the actual stats of the item. So this is the weapon right here, and then we've got the helm, chest plate, tassets, and then the set effect right here. So you can take a look at this, pause it if you want to, but yeah, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so now we have the Frost Moon set. So feeling blue, not for long. The Frost Moon set focuses on both melee and magic and immobilizes enemies with the sheer cold of the Frost Moon. Its main benefit is strong magic accuracy compared to other mid-game sets, combined with defensive capabilities against both magic and crush styles. The real star of the set, however, is the spell Spear, a melee weapon that hits significantly harder than your standard staff, while allowing you to auto cast whatever spells you like. That's really cool. I like the whole idea of that. With a 5% increase to magic strength, you'll be freezing your enemies in their tracks and doing some serious damage. The Frost Moon armor set gives you a 10% chance for your next melee attack to go unaffected by any action delay, although this only affects attacks made with the spell Spear. Put those dragon claws away. That's the first thing I was thinking of, was dragon claws. You'll deal even more damage with the spell Spear attack, which increases your max hit by 1% every tick remaining on the target inflicted with a binding effect. Once you've dealt your deadly blow, the binding effect will be removed, so choose your moment carefully before going in for the kill. For example, if your target has 10 ticks remaining on their binding effect, hitting them with the spell Spear's special attack will increase your max hit by 10%. This is the Frost Moon set stats. So there is the spell Spear. I just really think that's really cool that you can use it for melee and also cast with it. I think that's such a cool idea. So 75 magic and 70 attack. And then here is the Frost Moon hood. Okay, and then we got the Frost Moon chest plate, and then we have the Frost Moon robe legs, and then obviously the set effect when using an immobilizing spell, you have a 10% chance for the next melee attack with the spell Spear to not be affected by action delay. I think this one's my favorite so far. Next is the Eclipse set. So the next stop on our celestial journey is to the all-consuming Maw of the Eclipse. This set combines the sharp sting of the arrow with up-close and personal melee carnage as you burn your foes and consume the fire to unleash a devastating flurry of flames. Like the Frost Moon gear, this is a hybrid set. Eclipse combines range accuracy and melee strength to create a deadly offense at the cost of its defensive capabilities. The set includes the Eclipse Atlas, a new ranged weapon with an attack speed of 4, 3 on rapid. That's pretty fast, right? The set effect gives the wearer 20% chance to inflict burn, a new effect that causes the target to suffer 1 point of damage every 4 ticks for 40 ticks, a total of 10 base damage. However, the effect can be stacked up to 5 times to rack up even more damage over time. So I'm assuming burn, quote unquote, is going to be like poison, right? Okay, so this is going to explain the burn effect. So here's how that might play out. We've got a text description and a handy little table. So I'm damaged with burn, so I'm going to suffer 10 damage over 40 ticks. 16 ticks later, I've suffered 4 damage. Oh no, I've been burned again. I'm now getting damage from the original burn in addition to damage from the new one. Once the original burn is gone, I will have been damaged for a total of 16 HP, 10 plus 6, with 4 damage left from the second burn. Jesus Christ, it's going to take a while to get used to, but there is a chart to break it down. So the Atlas special attack costs 50% attack energy and consumes the remaining burn damage on the target to increase your max hit by that number and your minimum hit by half of the number. While this is a massive boost, we have capped it at an additional 50 damage, so we don't want you setting the world on fire. Interesting. I don't know what to think about this one. Next is the Bladed Moon. The final untradeable reward combines offense and defense to create a new weapon, the Bladed Moon. This offhand weapon combines the defense capabilities of a shield with the offense power of a defender. Defensively, it has similar stats to a mithril kite shield. Offensively, it provides some increase to stab, a higher slash bonus than any existing defender, and one less melee strength bonus than the dragon defender. Okay, that's interesting concept. To acquire this new weapon, you'll need to combine blood, eclipse, and a blue moon spikes obtainable from each of the 3 bosses. That's all for now. We hope you're as excited as we are to try out some new reward space and explore the depths of Camtorm. Yeah, very interesting. One thing I want to say is I think this is really good that they're making mid-level content. They're not making something crazy like a brand new raid, or they're going to be making something like the Inferno 2. They're making content that will get people actually into PVM so that they can learn more and more and more, right? I started with Barrows and the Giant Mole and stuff like that. And, you know, you work your way up and you get better at bossing over time. So if we have something like this, which is another version of Barrows that's more shiny, that's new, that can provide some good money, some rewards, this might be something really good, especially it's going to be in a brand new town as well. And, like, I just like the way all of these sets work. They're going to be useful in tons of different new scenarios. They've really done well with all the math and numbers on all that stuff, but it's going to be interesting to see what players think of them. There's a few things where I'm like, I don't know about this, but I do think the sets do look really cool, and I'm excited to actually do the bosses themselves. We don't get to see right now, I guess, what the demi bosses look like, but just from the little shadow here, they look pretty cool, right? They kind of remind me of thralls, if that makes any sense, right? Because they're like floating, or kind of maybe similar to like the Song of the Elves boss or whatever. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video today, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya later.